today I'm going to read you Junie B. John's Cheater Pants. Oh, and today I'm going to read you until chapter 5. Okay, so next time I'm going to read you until to the end. So, chapter 1, A plus May. Chapter 2, Weekend Fun. Chapter 3, Twitching. Chapter 4, Cheater Pants. Chapter 5, The Note. Chapter 6, Tin Can. Chapter 7, Pallies. Chapter 8, A plus US. Chapter 9, Sleeping on It. 1. Chapter 1, A plus May. Monday. Dear first grade journal, yesterday was the weekend. The weekend is the nickname of Saturday and Sunday. Only I don't know why. Those 2 days zoomed by speedy quick. That's how come I didn't have time to do my homework. 'Cause what do I look like? A clock or something? Last night I begged to stay up to do it, but Daddy said no, and he turned out my light. That was not helpful. Now I am at school, and Mr. Scary said to please take out our homework. I feel sickish inside. I hope that Daddy is proud of himself. From Junie B, first grader. And sickish means like she has butterflies in her stomach. Okay. Next to me, May got her homework out of her backpack and she put it on her desk. She smoothed out her paper and smiled. I'm sure I'll get another A plus on this one. I got an A plus on all my homework papers, Junie Johns, she said. One time, my homework was so perfect, Mr. Scary sent a happy note home to my mom and dad. I did a shrug. Blah, 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 I sat back. May did a mad face at me. Then she quick tapped Lenny on the back of his head. Lenny, did you hear what I just said to Junie Johns? She asked. I told her that I always get A pluses on my homework. Lenny turned around. Please don't touch my hair, May, he said. I used my brand new gel to spike it today, and I don't want you messing it up. I waved at Lenny across the outside. I would never touch your hair, Leonard, I said. Your hair looks like an interesting glob of artwork almost, and an artwork should just be whacked at. Lenny nodded. Thank you, Junie B. Johns. You're welcome, Lenny, whose last name starts with an S, I think, I said. After that, I smelled at May very smuggy. Lenny likes me way better than he likes her. May squinted her eyes at me. How come you didn't take your homework out yet, Junie Johns? She asked. You're not following the directions very well this morning, are you? I did a very big breath, like, then I quick reached into my backpack, and I pulled out the rumpled paper, and I pretended it was my homework. There, I said, there's my homework. Now please mind your own beeswax, you snoopy, poor May. May's faces got reddish and flushy. She started to raise her hand to tattletale. Only just then the teacher called her name. May, it's your day to take an attendance sheet to the office, he said. Would you like to come up here and get it, please? Yes, she said. I would love to, Mr. Scary. The attendance sheet is when teachers send the names out that absent children to the office. I do not actually approve that practice. May hurried to the front of the room. I'm never absent, Mr. Scary, she said. I'm always here. Do you ever notice that, huh? Have you ever noticed how I'm always here? Mr. Scary closed his eye for a second, like this. Oh, yes, May, he said. Believe me, I've noticed. May did a giggle. Also, I'm always punctual, she said. Have you noticed that too? Have you noticed how punctual I am? She smiled at the class. Punctual means on time, everyone, she explained. Last year, I was so punctual, I got the Punctual Award. The Punctual Award is an award for the child who is the most punctual. Mr. Scary stared at her. He said to please stop saying punctual. After that, May took the attendance sheet and she skipped to the door. Don't worry, room 1, I'll get this sound, she said real loud. Then everyone who isn't here will get reported to the principal. And that's exactly what they deserve. Mr. Scary did a sigh. Please, May, just go, okay? He said. May did a wave, then she hurried out the door. After she was gone, I rolled my eyes around the room. All of the children had their homework papers but me. My insides felt sickish again. 'Cause pretty sure Mr. Scary would find out that I didn't do my assessment. I swallowed real hard. My eyes kept on roaming around. And then what do you know? They roamed over to May's desk. So they is Junie B. Johnson's eyes, okay? And surprise, I saw her homework paper sitting there. It was right out the plain view. My heart pounded and pounded at that sight, 'cause my brain was getting an idea. That's why I tapped on my chin, very thinking. Then, quiet as a mouse, I pulled May's paper a little closer, and I copied it what is that? After I got done, I breathed in relief, 'cause now I had a homework paper. I smiled to just myself. Then I closed my eyes, and I whispered thank you to May for letting me borrow your homework. Chapter 2, Weekend Fun. May got back from the office. She stood at the door and waved again. I did it, everyone. I got the attendance sheet to the office, just like I promised. She looked to Mr. Scary. It went very well, too, she said. There were no problems I couldn't handle. Mr. Scary raised his eyes from what he was doing. Okay, well, thank you, May. You can take your seat now, please, he said. But May kept right on talking. At first, I didn't know where to put it. But then the secretary told me to put in the wire basket, so I followed her directions perfectly, she said. Mr. Scary pointed at her seat. Excellent, he said. Now please sit down, okay? May didn't pay attention again. When I was in the kindergarten, I got an E+ for following directions, she said. E+ is better than excellent. The plus sign means extra, and excellent. Just then, Mr. Scary stood up and he took May's hand and he walked her to her seat. As soon as she went back to his seat, I strained my brain for something nice to say to her, 'cause I was still happy at May for leaving her homework out. Well, if she says something nice to her, May would say, Junie B. Jones cheated my homework, I'm tell the teacher. I do not hope that would happen to her. Finally, I tapped on her arm and I smiled. Welcome back, madam, I said real friendly. May did a frown at me. What kind of crack was that? She said. I just looked at her. Friendly does not come natural to us, I think. Pretty soon, Mr. Scary stood up at his desk. Then he walked to the board and he wrote these words. This weekend, one thing I did for fun was, okay, everyone, he said, for your homework over the weekend, I asked you to complete that sentence. Remember? Room 1 nodded. Good, said Mr. Scary, because this morning I'd like for each of you read your homework paper to the class. That way we'll find out what our classmates do for enjoyment. Doesn't that sound fun? Room 1 nodded again. Even if it doesn't sound fun, you'll have to nod. Mr. Scary smiled. We'll go up and down each row until everyone gets a turn. He pointed at Lucille. Lucille, why don't you start us off? He said. Lucille sat in the front row by the window. Last year, me and her were bestest friends, but this year we're just regular. Lucille stood up and fluffed herself. Then she picked up her paper and she started to read. This weekend, one thing I did for fun was my like Nana to me to her expensive beauty salon, and both of us got manicures and pedicures. Mr. Scary looked surprised at the news. You got a pedicure, Lucille? Wow, that's pretty fancy stuff, isn't it? He said. Lucille shrugged. For some people, maybe, she said. She looked down and kept on reading. Also, we each got a paper fruit facial, and Nana got her herbal body wrap. Plus, they got a seaweed scalp massage. Mr. Scary stood there for a second. Then he nodded very slow. All righty then, he said. After that, he pointed to Camille. Camille is the sister of Junie. Those two are twin sets. Camille stood up. This weekend, Junie and I made a puppet theater of a cardboard box, and we put on a show for our little brother, Neil. Mr. Scary beamed at the news. Oh, that's great, girls, he said. I bet doing a puppet show for your brother was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Not really, said Camille. Neil kept on grabbing the puppet out of our hands, and he made them kill each other. We don't like Neil, said Junie. Neil is a boob, said Camille. Mr. Scary just stood there some more. Then finally he moved to Roger. Roger was the best one so far. This weekend, one thing I did fun was I went to get pizza with my dad, and I ate the whole entire Ecuador, and I didn't throw up till I was almost home. Room 1 clapped and clapped for that amazing story. Mr. Scary was right. It was fun to learn what our classmates did on the weekend. I couldn't wait for it to be my turn because I love to talk in front of the class, of course. Plus, I had to tell about my weekend, and Mr. Scary would think I did my homework. I put the paper I copied from May into my desk. I didn't need it after all, because what do you know? Today I lucked out. Okay, so the plan just changed. So I'll just read you until chapter 2 we are reading right now, okay? It was fun to learn what our classmates did on the weekend. I couldn't wait if I put the paper I copied from May into my desk. I didn't need it after all, cause what do you know? Today I locked out. So it was until here. So next time I'll read you until chapter 5. Okay. So was it then fun? I'm very excited to the story happening because I just like Junie B. John's story. So when I was little, I just didn't like Junie B. John's, but now I like it. I hope you like Junie B. John's series too. Bye!